What's up, picklers? Welcome to the Antiques Roadshow with your hosts Sarah Burr and Shannon Burr. We're still in Houston at the moment. We're just going to do a little video on the second chapter of our Houston experience.
Yeah, so we before the tournament started, we checked out a couple of different training facilities here in Houston. So we went to Lifetime at City Centre, where we met the director or manager, Clarence, and yeah, really lovely indoor pickleball court, outdoor surface, and they have all these different amazing facilities there. New squash courts, pool, massive gym, childcare,
rock climbing.
Really cool.
It's an amazing facility, and it'd be so cool to have that back in Australia. I just couldn't imagine there'd be anyone who wouldn't want to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then from there we went to Bumpy Pickle. So we'd been there previously, but again, an amazing outdoor facility, this one, with beautiful hanging fairy lights, lots of lit courts, outdoor bar, outdoor projector for watching sports, beach volleyball courts, cornhole, ping pong. A restaurant's being built, so there's a food truck there at the moment serving food.
It's a really cool, laid back sort of party atmosphere at Bumpy Pickle. Very, very cool place.
Yeah, so we did a bit of training there, and on the court next door to us we had Georgia Johnson and Julie Johnson practicing with Mercia Brainstock as well, so had some really good players around us. Shannon thought it'd be a good idea to get his drone out and get some footage.
Yeah, so I was filming with my drone, getting some pretty cool shots, and suddenly the screen went black, and I had a quick glance over to where the drone was flying, and it was falling on the roof of the facility. Luckily, there's still some workmen there working on the building, so I was able to pinch a ladder off one of those guys and get up on the roof and get my drone back. So
it was a bumpy ride at Bumpy Pickle. And then from there we went to Parlour Pickle, so that's the indoor centre that we mentioned previously. It's still being built at the moment, but we had some really good rec games there with some senior pros, Chris Harris, Yanette, and then some really nice locals, John, Michael, Alex, Don, lots of lovely locals there.
So many really cool people at Parlour. It's some of the best people I've met, I think, have been from that facility, so it's been really cool.
Bought us lunch and made us feel really welcome there.
Michael showed us lunch and it was fantastic.
Yeah, so. really good.
Yeah.
So then from there, basically we started off at the Houston APP Open. So it started off with the mixed doubles with Austin Gridley. We were really happy to make it through the first round. It was a tight 3-set match, but yeah, we worked well together, and I learned a lot from him. He's really good with his tactics, so that was really good. And then our next match was on centre court against Georgia Johnson and Gabe Tardio. So a lot of pressure being on centre court. We had a good game plan, but unfortunately they got the win on the day. They were the stronger team.
Yeah.
And then we dropped down to the consolation bracket, where again we had a really tight match this time with Gretscheva and Rettenmeyer. So he's obviously an ex-pro tennis player, so a very powerful hitter. Tough opponent, but yeah, we were happy. We had fun. We gave it our best shot as a new team, and But then at that night, we actually went to an NBA basketball match at Toyota Center here in Houston. So that was a massive thing for the kids, and we all really enjoyed.
It's such a huge arena. I've heard about how big the basketball arenas are, but it's when you actually walk in there, it's just enormous. We were up in the nosebleeds, and just stepping into our seats, it's almost scary. I'm a little bit afraid of heights, and just looking down onto the courts is just, it's mind blowing how big it is and how steep it is. So they had these cool wristbands that we weren't sure what they were for at the start, and then we realised they all light up and they flicker whenever the Rockets score a point or something like that. So that was pretty cool. Really cool experience. The stadium was completely packed. Couldn't tell you how many people would be there. I'm guessing maybe 60,000 people or something like that.
That's massive. Really good.
Huge.
So next, yesterday it was the women's doubles with Susanna Barr. So we had a really fun day. She's really friendly, really knowledgeable, and just an amazing player. So I really enjoyed playing with Susanna. We started off the day with some rec matches against Georgia Johnson and Vivian David. And we were really strong together. We just felt so in sync. We actually won the rec match. I think it was 11-9, and we were up 9-5 in the second set when we got booted off the court. But we were playing really well together, and then had a first round win against Whitwell and Schneeman, so both MLP players, experienced. Lacey's a bit of a young gun coming through, and we managed to win that one 11-1, 11-9, so that was a really strong win, and we were both really pumped about it.
So there's about so many things on this trip already, and I'll say it again about that experience. That one experience, seeing Sarah win against such a strong team, experienced and just great players. To have that win made this whole trip worthwhile. That's maybe the 5th time I've said that about different experiences we've had in the US, and it's just amazing how those things keep popping up and becoming part of the whole experience, which is awesome.
Yeah, I really wanted to just get one good win under my belt, and I felt like that was it. We then had to play Jardim and Coop on centre court as our next match, so number 1 seeds. We gave it our all, but at the end of the day, they were come out firing. We had some really good rallies early on in the match, and then they just sort of ran away with it a little bit with a couple of errors and things. But yeah, we had a lot of fun out there. Had a bit of fun with Chad Edwards at the change of ends after the first set. He's an Australian too, and was having a little bit of trouble saying Burr and Bar together, and then he started singing Bar Bar Black Sheep to us.
So Chad's he's actually Simone's husband, but he's the APP's commentator. He does a great job. So.
Yeah, and he actually, when I watched the video back, he had some really good feedback, which I've definitely taken on board. And so after that match, we then dropped to the consolation bracket, and we played Megan Fudge and Alex Truong, and we had a good match. We were up, we were down, clawed back again, and then unfortunately we didn't get the win. But yeah,
it was a tough match. They did so well at the start, and I really thought they had it, but the girls just came back with a bit of momentum. Yeah. And
I just overall from this tournament, my big takeaway is I'm trying to learn from more people who are more experienced than me, but I've also got to balance what the tips and the knowledge that they're bringing with my own game. And I think sometimes throughout the weekend, I was trying to stick to a game plan and not following my instinct when I'm making sometimes shot selections and things. But I've learned that I need to find that balance, and not to try and mimic my partner. Like, I'm a different style of player to both Austin and Susanna, so I need to learn how to complement them rather than be like them, because they're both of them are more like, they're better at dinks and drops and things. I'm better at attacking and fast hands at the net, so I've got to work out how to bring my best to the team. So that's the big takeaway that I've taken from this weekend so far. But we've met some amazing people and super friendly people this weekend. We met Ken Herman from who runs APP. He was super nice and helpful. Gave us a lot of time to have a chat about things. He was very interested to know what's happening with pickleball in Australia. He's definitely toying at the idea of having an event in Australia. So he was talking about venues, and so I'm really excited to see what happens in that
He also gave us a couple of contacts of other international players who have actually got short-term visas to stay in the country for a bit longer and compete, which is ultimately what we're hoping to do. So it'd be good to get in touch with some of those players. And Byron Fresso, the head referee, he also gave us he's such a great guy. He remembered us from the US Open, but he also gave us some contacts. And one other very important person I got to meet this weekend was Steve Kuhn. He's just an enormous personality in the pickleball scene. He started MLP, Major League Pickleball, and also Duper. And also Dreamland in Austin, where we're going to be heading next week. Such an approachable man, such an awesome person, I was actually a bit shaky going up and meeting him, but he was just such a nice guy. He actually invited us to a party at his house on Friday, which we are super excited about. We'll have to get a babysitter for that one. So,
And so we've had a really good weekend. Had a little bit of an incident yesterday afternoon when we went to leave the centre, and we could not locate the car keys, which also had the keys to our Airbnb on it.
So I basically had to drop everyone to the tournament yesterday, and there was no parking anywhere close by. So I drove a couple of miles, I think, and parked the car. So I've run all the way back to where I'd parked to look for the keys, and Benji had come up to me and said, "Oh, Dad, don't worry, we found the keys." And I said, "Oh, okay. You want to give them to me so I can drive back?" And he said, "Oh no, they're still with Mum." So after 4 laps of going to and from the car to find the keys, we eventually made it out of there.
We did. So the keys had actually made their way through a hole in one of the sections of a backpack and into the internal lining of the backpack. So not only we could feel these keys, but they took a good 10 minutes to actually work out where they were and how we could get to it without cutting open the whole bag. But needless to say, we got into the car, we managed to get back into our Airbnb, and we have survived that little incident.
Oh, one other thing we got to do while we were here was experience some really, really top quality Texan barbecue, or Texas barbecue. I found out they don't call it Texas barbecue here, they just call it barbecue.
Because you're in Texas.
So yeah, that was fantastic. Best food I've ever eaten. It just, literally the meat just falls off the bone.
And the kids thought they were eating like dinosaur bones.
Yeah,
they're so big.
enormous bones. But yeah, it was really, really great. We've had a few people contacting us in regards to continuing to help with fundraising for this trip. We are so grateful to those people. I don't know how I can even explain how grateful we are, but every dollar is helping. We're really trying to contribute back to not only Australian but international pickleballers. We're speaking to these big players in pickleball, like Ken Herman and Steve Kuhn, in regards to what's happening in Australia, how we can get the MLP
Or tournaments,
those sorts of things happening in Australia. Just trying to help with that a little bit. I know some people already have that a little bit under control, but
just trying to do
we're doing our thing. And if you've been watching the YouTube, the games, the APP and the PPA, you'd have seen every time Sarah's on court the mention of Australian pickleball. We just feel like that's helping so much towards our cause of being here and really trying to get Australia on the map in the pickleball scene. So yeah, every dollar you can help towards us staying a little bit longer. We really appreciate it. We're not a charity. We are here living our dream, so we completely understand that it's that you're doing us a big favour. So we'd just like to say thanks again to everyone who's contributing.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
What we're going to do is put our link to, what was it, our GoFundMe. We just started that up because the Facebook fundraiser closed. So anyone who would like to continue helping, that link will be in the bio. Once again, we're so grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And can't wait to let you know about the rest of our trip.
Yeah, until the next adventure.
Thank you.
Thank you.